A new gay Congressman, Robert Garcia, was sworn in on a Superman comic book. Not only a Superman comic book, but the first edition of the Superman comic book from the Library of Congress. What's going on here? This sounds a little bit funny.
So, personal bias completely. As a huge geek, as a huge nerd, I fell in love with this story and then I read it a little bit deeper, and it is so moving. Robert Garcia is a Democrat from California who happens to be gay and has been part of the, brand new influx of representatives who had their swearing in sort of delayed because of the Speaker of the House issue. But when Robert Garcia was actually allowed to step up and take his oath, this is what he had. He had a copy of the Constitution on top. Beneath that is an original 1939 Superman #1 that he had been able to borrow from the Library of Congress, a photo of his parents, and a copy of his citizenship certificate. Garcia actually came to the US from Peru when he was 5 years old. He said that his naturalization is his proudest moment and that his parents died in 2020 from COVID-19.
Oh no.
So he was the youngest and first out LGBTQ plus person elected as mayor of Long Beach in California, serving from 2014 to 2022. But he's also an avid comic book fan. So he was in the Library of Congress in the congressional members' reading room. He said, I can pull any comic book from what is the largest public comic book collection in the country and read them here. And he found original copies of Superman 1 and Amazing Fantasy #15. Superman 1, of course, the debut of Superman, but Amazing Fantasy #15, the debut of the Amazing Spider-Man. So he said, I don't know which one I'm going to read first, but it's this beautiful story of this individual who takes this moment. Then we read a little bit more about this. The comic book was also how Garcia learned to read and write in English. As a small child, coming from Peru, having to learn this new language at that age, comic books were his easiest access to English. And so he read Superman comics to learn to read and write English and is now a United States congressman.